and I'm Reverend Pam Bram, I'm the Senior Minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Tahoe-Truckee. And we know that wherever you are, whatever spiritual path you are on, all of those paths lead to love and to spirit. And you are all welcome here. And tonight we're going to celebrate the birth of Christ consciousness, of Jesus in Bethlehem and also in our own hearts. So we're going to begin with an affirmation that led by our practitioner tonight, Carol Delbon.
Is it going to show up on the screen for everyone? Guess not.
Here we go.
Okay, let's say together. On this holy night, I feel the wondrous presence of infinite spirit. I am filled with the glory of God's nature and rejoice that I am one with it. The wholeness and goodness I see in myself, I see in all people. All around me is evidence of God's great love and givingness, and it is beautiful to behold. I let my Christ light shine and share love, peace, and joy with the world. I let this be, and so it is. So I will do the opening prayer now. Do you want me to do that? Okay. So we all come together this evening to celebrate this wondrous time of the year, the Spirit of Christ within, knowing that it surrounds us and it's within us, that we are guided and directed by its beauty, its love, its joy, especially at this time where everybody is celebrating this wondrous spirit. We are surrounded by its beauty always, and we can see it in everyone's faces. No matter what, this time of the year is a happy time, a joyous time. And I'm so grateful for us coming together this evening to celebrate this wondrous, wondrous time. So I let these words go, knowing they are the truth of everyone here. And so it is. And we have a reading today. Let me see, it's from the science.
We have a song first.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone because I did not get this in time to print it.
Okay. So we've got lots of carols today, and so Colleen is going to be leading us. And since we're on Zoom, in case you haven't tried to sing on Zoom in a group, Colleen is going to be the only one with herself unmuted, and we'll all be muted and singing along with whoever's in our own family side by side, and that way, well, it'll all sound great. So anyway, and we're really lucky to have Colleen Akiko with us tonight as our musician, and she's got some surprises for us, as well as some very familiar Christmas carols. So Colleen.
Oh, yes. So let's sing Joy to the World. Joy to the world, love is alive. Let earth receive this love. Let every heart may feel this love. Heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, Christ consciousness leads. Our grateful hearts sing out, and fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains repeat the sounding joy, repeat the reveal sounding joy. Love rules the world with truth and grace, and where the wants were proved, the glories of this wondrous love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his law, and wonders, wonders of his love.
Thank you, Colleen. I like those words. Okay, this is from the Science of Mind textbook. It's reading about Christ consciousness. As the human gives way to the divine in all people, they become the Christ. In the case of Jesus, there was such a surrendering of an isolated will that a greater incarnation of the divine actually took place. The mystic Christ comes from the bosom of the unseen Father, proclaiming the love of God through his own love of humanity. Asleep in the heart of cosmic love, unborn, universal, potential, the Christ child lay, and the great mother soul, brooding over her unborn child, conceived it in the stillness of her universal nature, imparting to it her own being. Born into time and experience, unnoticed, unseen, yet alive and aware, the Christ child incarnated in human form, taking the likeness of men and women, yet giving no sign of its presence. Waiting with utmost patience and love, the revelation that should disclose itself and proclaim the reign of peace. Many ages passed and vanished in the long yesterdays of time, and still the Christ child waited. Nations appeared and disappeared. Toil, famine, pestilence, and want. Hunger, cold, heat, and thirst. War, hatred, blood, and ruin. And still the seed of perfection, unrevealed. But the universal wholeness cannot be forever subjected, nor cosmic love be kept from human form. That which was given must be revealed. The seed of perfection must burst. The sheets of heavenly planting must break the cords that bind, fanning the human into a blaze divine. And so the long appointed day arrived. A voice from out the stillness spoke. This is my beloved Son. Let the earth be still in its presence. Let the beasts of the field, the birds of the air, and all living creatures be still. Let the hosts of heaven sing praises, and let deep cry unto deep. Then spoke the child, I am come to bring peace. I am the child of joy, and to all who will I give life. I am formed of happiness. I am come from the eternal stillness. Quietness and confidence are mine. In the heart of the Father, I have lived forever. Oh, nations and all people, look unto me and be saved. Behold my face shining as the sun, and my feet shod with righteousness. In my left hand are riches and honor, and in my right, peace forevermore. All that I am, all that I have, I give. Christ, the idea of universal sonship, the entire creation, both visible and invisible. There is one Father of all. This one Father, conceiving within himself, gives birth to all the divine ideas. The sum total of all these ideas constitutes the mystic Christ.
And now we have Colleen is next, and she'll be sharing with us an original song that she's recorded for us. And It's the metaphysical take on Christmas.
Beneath the steamy breath of beasts, a swaddled infant softly breathes. The home kings and shepherds seek ancient newborn This is Christ in me, my glory born of divinity. Praise, praise to the great I am, that I am, ancient mystery Angels sing and fill the sky, radiant beams dance through the night, heralding pure, joyful light, born of earth and born divine. This is Christ in me, my glory born of divinity. Praise, praise to the great I am, that I am, ancient mystery breathing. Gloria, Gloria, behold Emmanuel, behold Emmanuel. This is Christ in me, my glory born of divinity. Praise, praise to the great I am, that I am, ancient mystery leading. This is Christ in me, my glory born of divinity. Praise, praise to the great I am, that I am, ancient mystery
Thank you, Colleen. That was wonderful. And now we have what might be the highlight of our evening. Our children are going to light the candles. that we're celebrating the Christ light. And Mariah Hartley is our new church administrator, and she is also our youth director. So we're excited to have her, and she knows how to do this very well because she grew up in the church, and I think she told me she had done every color out of the 7 colors that we have. So she's very familiar with the process. So Mariah and the youth of our Center for Spiritual Living Tahoe-Truckee.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful Christmas Eve. So I will begin. A candle symbolizes our being. The wax on the outside of the candle is attractive, but it's when the candle is lighted that the candle becomes more beautiful. It's the same with us. Our physical self may be attractive, but we radiate real beauty when we let Spirit's light shine through us. The first candle we will light this evening is the white candle for unity. Let me just grab my other candle. God is unity, therefore I am unity. Please repeat it with me. God is unity, therefore I am unity. Unity means there is only one life. That life is God's life, and that life is our life now. Each one of us is unique and yet inseparable, part of the one life. Knowing and experiencing this unity is the Christ consciousness. The white light of unity contains all colors of the rainbow and symbolically includes all the qualities of God. Bringing these God qualities together into the one light represents unity. This evening, we will be lighting 7 more candles that represent 7 aspects of God and therefore 7 aspects of ourselves. Azalea will light our next candle.
The red candle is for love. God is love, therefore I am love. Love is the soul. Impulse for creation. The very reason for
Sorry, feedback.
for our
Okay, try again.
for
Hang on, we have sound difficulties.
Do you have 2 computers in the same room?
Why don't you read your part again?
you almost lighted it.
There you go. Okay, read your part again.
It's melting.
Just read your part again so everybody can repeat after you. Okay,
The red candle is for love. God is love, therefore I am love.
Okay, pause.
Love?
Say repeat after me.
What?
So everybody's supposed to repeat, God is love, therefore I am love. Okay, now you can go. Love is the sole impulse for creation, the very reason for our being.
Love is at the
Center.
center of our being. Always healing,
Speak
always
louder.
enriching, always
Renewing,
renewing, always
cherishing.
always cherishing, us and all of creation. Love is greater than all else. Love is our nature. Love overcomes everything.
Our next candle will be lit by Rio.
Okay. Where's your picture? Okay.
God is truth, therefore I am truth. Please repeat after me. God is truth, therefore I am truth. Truth is founded upon which our lives are built. Truth is the cornerstone upon which we archer ourselves. Since truth is God, and the more we sense God is ourselves, the more we live in extended ancestors of the divine within us. This is our truth.
All right, and our next candle will be lit. There was a slight change, and I believe it is Gretchen and Sarah lighting for us today.
Ready?
The yellow candle is for joy. God is joy, therefore I am joy. Please repeat after me.
God
is joy, therefore I am joy. Life is full of joy. There is a divine earth within us to express joy in all that we do and all that we are. We make a joyful noise into the world, and the world responds in kind with spontaneous joy and joyous free flow of life.
Our next candle will be lit by Luna.
Okay, there we go. Oh, I dripped it on myself. The green candle is for life. God is life, therefore I am life. Please repeat after me. God is life, therefore I am life.
God is life, therefore I am life.
There is only one life. That life is God, and that life is radiant, healthy, limitless, and eternal. This one life lives in us and through us, always encouraging us to express greater life, ever giving of itself in new ways.
Our next candle will be red by Alana.
The blue candle is for peace. God is peace, therefore I am peace. Please repeat after me. God is peace, therefore I am peace.
God is peace, therefore I am peace.
The saints' tones of blue suggest the quietity of peace perfectly, for peace is instance of the same purity, harmony, and order. Peace is the quality of heaven on earth, an inner calm so complete that nothing can disturb it. It is our natural state. It is our place of silence within the deepest part of us. It is our quiet connection with God. Throughout with God whispers its inspiration of guidance.
Zenny will be lighting our next candle.
Okay. Like this. Okay. God is power, therefore I am power. repeat after me. There is a power for good in the universe, and it is ours to use. We recognize this power as spiritual connection, truth, and intelligence, guided by our intuition. We consciously align ourselves with power we call God, creating the life of our choosing. We set this power in motion by our thoughts. Let our thoughts be love, peace, and joy.
And our last candle will be lit by Brian.
I light it first? Yes.
God is wisdom, therefore I am wisdom. Please repeat after me.
God is wisdom, therefore I am wisdom.
God is wisdom. There is a plan and purpose for all of life we are in the process of discovering and fulfilling that purpose as we recognize our individual minds are one with a great mind of God. Divine wisdom guides us to a higher calling to life based on service to God, to humankind, and to our planet. Knowing this, we trust the process of life that is unfolding before us and say yes to our higher calling. Wisdom guides our way.
So good. Thank you, everyone. And that leads us into a nice carol medley.
Bearing gifts, we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie. Above thy deep and dreamless sleep, the silent stars go by. Yet in the dark street shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in victory night. Oh, Christ is born of Mary, and gathered all above. While mortals sleep and angels keep their watch of wondering love. Oh, morning stars together proclaim the holy birth, and praises ring to God our King, and peace to men on earth. The birds know well, the angels did say, must insert them poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night. Their power so deep. Noel, 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 Noel. Born is the King of Israel. They looked up and saw a star shining clear in the east, beyond them far, and to the earth it gave great light, and so it continued both day and night. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. And by the light of that same star, 3 wise men came from country far to sing oracle in intent and follow the star wherever it went. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel.
Well, thank you, everyone. I know next year when we'll be able to sing together, we'll enjoy that a whole lot more, but it's still fun. It's still fun to hear the familiar carols. And when we look at let me have to fix this thing here. Okay, there we go. So okay. All right, now, okay. So, the Christmas star. For generations before the birth of Jesus, the world looked forward to the coming of the Messiah. In the story of the 3 magi, or wise men, we hear about how these 3 wise men followed the star. They came from the east to Jerusalem, and part of their wisdom was from astrology, and they knew that when this great star was in the sky that just was more bright than any other star in the sky, they knew something special was there. And so they followed that star, and they came to Jerusalem, and they asked King Herod, "Where is the one who was born King of the Jews? We saw his star in the east and have come to worship him." That is what the stories had been about. But King Herod, pretended that he also wanted to worship the child, even though he was really concerned. And so he asked the wise men where he could find the child. And so the 3 magi told him, and they followed the star to the town of Bethlehem and found the baby lying in a manger. And they gave him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. But they were told in a dream by God that they should not go back to tell Herod where the child was. Instead, they went home in a different direction. Now, the star is a popular symbol of Christmas and how God led the wise men and us to discover the Christ child Jesus for ourselves. Now, this year, we're hearing about the 2020 planetary conjunction. And I don't know about you, but just after sunset on quite a few nights, just before and after the winter solstice, my husband Michael and I included, we were spending some time watching that planetary conjunction of the planets Jupiter and Saturn. And as you can see in this slide, when we come up, and so you can see on the left, there is Jupiter, and on the right is Saturn. And this is a picture from the West Desert during the Great Conjunction on the winter solstice, December 21st. Now this is dubbed the Christmas star in conjunction with the closest together that these 2 planets have passed in the Earth's sky in nearly 400 years. So it's much like the Christmas star. The Star of Bethlehem was actually a triple conjunction with three planets coming together, including Mars, so it was even brighter. Now, the word star was the same for both singular and plural, meaning that it could have been not just one star, but a group of objects, which is clearly what we have here. But still, seeing these planets come so closely together, you can see the rings around Saturn, and if you have a telescope, you can even see the moons around Jupiter. And while it looks like they're very close together, they are actually 456 million miles apart. Right? Now, the way this happens is that each of the planet orbits around the sun, but they're not all in the same line. One is this way and one's that way, and so they only line up every so often. But it takes 30 years for Saturn to go around the sun and 10 years for Jupiter, so it goes much faster. Now, one of the other things that I noticed as we were watching this planetary conjunction on successive nights is that the planets slowly moved across the sky relative to each other. So initially, Jupiter was on the right, Saturn on the left, and then as they moved, they switched places. Right? And so it's similar when our hearts and minds come into alignment, just like those planets. We move beyond our limited worldly vision, and we come into alignment between our head and our heart. And so our whole being comes into alignment with our higher self. You know, instead of having that worldly vision from our head, you know, those words that keep going all the time, and our ego is very much in charge, and we think that this physical world is the whole thing. But with our heart, we see spirit. That is where spirit resides within us. And so as when we line the head and heart, then we are open to that infinite understanding of love and joy and peace. It is the Christ consciousness within us. And that is when the star shines brightest. So as those planets appear to come close together and shine brightest, their light enhances the brightness of each one. It's the same for us. Instead of being a limited person, we become part of the one. And that light, that Christ light, is lit within us. In our reading today, Ernest Holmes' version of the Christmas story, he talked about the birth of the mystic Christ. And he said, there was one Father of all. This one Father, conceiving within himself, gives birth to all of the divine ideas. The sum total of all these ideas constitutes the mystic Christ. Jesus understood his own nature. He knew that the human embodies the divine. It manifests the Christ nature. So what this means is all of those different characteristics of God that we talked about with each of the colored candles, love for red, orange for truth, yellow for joy, green for life, blue for peace, indigo for power, and the violet for the wisdom. All of those colors come together like the rainbow into the white candle of unity. So it all comes from the white, and it goes back to that white light. You see, God is infinite, the source of all life, of all creation, including each of us. Now, another quote from The Science of Mind, we must understand the Christ is not a person, but a principle. It's a state of being, really. It was impossible for Jesus not to have become the Christ as the human gave way to the divine, as the man gave way to God, as the flesh gave way to spirit, as the will of division gave way to the will of unity. Jesus the man became the living embodiment of the Christ. So think about that. The will of the division gave way to the will of unity. All right? So rather than thinking that we're a bunch of separate beings running around the world, we are in fact unified with each other and with God our Creator and with Jesus, who is the great way shower that showed us what the potential is for humankind. If we let go of our human vision, of our ego, of all of our ideas of separation from God and everyone else, and we allow ourselves to be open to the spiritual truth that we are one with God, then that is when our light shines. Our inner light shines, just like that inner light from the candle makes it beautiful. We let go of all resistance and allow Spirit to flow in us, through us, and as us. The Christ consciousness can be born in us. So that's why it's important to align our head and our heart. We do this when we meditate. We clear our minds and listen to the voice of Spirit deep within our hearts. We do this when we love one another, when we remember that we are all one in spirit and live our lives from that perspective. This is where we find peace. This is where we find joy. This is where we find the love that knows no bounds. And this is where we discover our own star in the east that directs us to align our heart and mind and unleash the light of Christ consciousness within our own awareness. And there you go. And so this is why we light a candle tonight, to rejoice in the light awakening within our hearts. It brings peace, love, and joy to the whole world. So let's take this to prayer. In the stillness of this evening, with that light of the candle glowing before us, we remember that there is one life, and that life is God. It is majestic. It is all that is. And it surrounds us all with that divine, infinite love, holding us tightly, caressing us, caring for us, and lighting our path forward so that we can express more of the divine that we are, so that we can open ourselves to the joy and the mystery of the birth of Jesus that we are celebrating tonight. The birth of that Christ consciousness in the world, of what the intention is of Spirit for us. The intention of Spirit that is about love, that is about peace, that is about joy, and life itself. The spiritual truth of who we are. It is the source of the power and presence of Spirit within us. It is the source of wisdom, of life itself. And so I am grateful to know this, to experience it. I am grateful to be here with everyone from our beloved Center for Spiritual Living, Tahoe-Truckee, as it too is an expression of the Spirit of God, of the Christ consciousness. And I am grateful for the children that are here with us tonight, and we bless each one of them as we nurture that wisdom of Spirit that is growing within them. And we surround them with love and blessings and peace and joy. And we allow each one of us to come into contact with that and to know what is our calling, to share this truth, to share this love with the world, both here in our families, in our spiritual community, and beyond into our greater Tahoe-Truckee community and into the world. In the world that is seeking peace, that is seeking love, that is seeking wholeness, we are a voice for that love in the world right now, each one of us. And we say yes. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this knowingness, for this experience, for this truth, for this evening when we get to remember who we are and God's greatest gift to the world, Jesus, who is the great way shower and leads the way. And with complete trust and confidence and deep gratitude, I release these words knowing that it is already done. And together we say, and so it is. So tonight, next we come into our time when we are able to share our offerings as a recognizing that God is our source. And so we thank you very much for your gifts that support our center. We know that Spirit is our source, and it works through each one of us as to share that divine blessings with the world and to help our center provide that spiritual food that nourishes the soul in each one of us by sharing of your time, talent, and treasures. Each one of you is an important part of our center. Thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for your support. And if we would move into our affirmation, hold your thought of your gift and your end of the year offerings, and repeat with me. I gratefully and joyfully share my offering, which flows from God, my infinite source. My gift blesses this center and all who are guided, healed, and empowered by its activities. All I share with life returns to me, blessed and multiplied. And we have a special song tonight that we
I
can
am
sing.
so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed.
So I think we have some announcements. I think we're going to keep the announcements short tonight, but there's some special things coming up to help celebrate the season that we just wanted to remind you about. So, Reverend Rick?
Thank you, Reverend Pam. I want to make sure that everybody is mindful of the fact that we will not have service this coming Sunday. And if you show up and you're there, tell us how it went, because we won't be there. I want to point out several things that are coming up on New Year's Eve. One of them starts very early in the morning, 4 a.m. on December 31st. Our center is taking part in a worldwide Healing Day peace meditation. And in this meditation, folks around the world will be also meditating at this very same time to bring peace and healing to our planet. That's a long Zoom link. You can find it in our newsletter as well as on our Facebook site. Later on New Year's Eve, you can dance the night away, or at least, until it's midnight on the East Coast, with Eddie Watkins Jr., who's a fantastic musician, top notch. All of this is for free, and you can watch this on Eddie Watkins' Facebook site. Then, in the latter part of the evening, our friend Colleen Akiko will be playing in a multi-faith New Year's Eve service at the Buddhist Center of Reno. And they have invited us to participate in that as well. And so if you're still awake after having been up since 4 a.m., you make a point of checking out Colleen and the community in Reno. Just want to highlight some things that are happening with our schedule. This being the holidays, we, of course, have so many things going on. It's almost hard to keep track of it all. So I made it a nice table here showing you when's the next time each of these groups is going to meet. We have things happening literally 7 days a week. And some of these activities won't be happening in the coming week, however. For example, we will not have service on Sunday. We will not have a Wednesday gathering because that's the night prior to the 4 a.m. meditation. Other things will be happening on a more or less regular schedule following the New Year's. And so with that, I turn it back to Reverend Pam.
All right, thank you, Reverend Rick. I think you had some slides, but
Oh no.
I think you were very clear. I think we're good. Thank you. Because we wanted to, just in case this is going a little bit long for some of our younger participants today, we thought we'd liven it up a little bit, and we're going to sing Jingle Bells. So Colleen, and if anybody's got some bells, please join us and ring up the fun.
I'm dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a spring song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. That was fast, wasn't it?
So now we come to me, the most special part of our candlelight service, when we each get to light our own candle that is a part coming from that unity candle. Now normally we would have that unity candle that's been lit by the children down front, and we can all light our one candle. And if you have a votive candle or any kind of candle, really, it doesn't really matter. But if you have one, I'm going to ask you to light it from, I have a candle burning behind me, which is my unity candle. And I'm going to light this candle, and then we're going to be singing Silent Night. And we're going to go through a lot of the verses, but we'll just be, thinking about the specialness of being a part of the one, having our light come from that one light. We're all part of the one, and we're lighting our own light within our own hearts as we align our minds and hearts tonight and celebrate the birth of the Christ consciousness.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. From young virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds wake at the sight, glory streaming from heaven above, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior has born. Christ the Savior is born. Son of God, cast your light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord and Lord, Jesus, Lord, at thy word. Silent night, holy night, wondrous star, lend thy light. With the angels, let us sing. Hallelujah to our King. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born.
And so as we have our lights before us, we're not going out into the dark as we normally would, but we're going back into our lives and our family as we share this light and allow it to be the truth of our being. Allow it to fill us with light, with love, with peace, and with joy. For they are the divine truth of who we are, and we share it with the world now and always. And so it is. Amen. Thank you all for being a part of our service tonight, and we'll, as we normally do, we'll unmute and we can have some hospitality time. You may want to keep your candle burning or blow it out, whatever works for you, but